Hello, everybody. Happy New Year, since we haven't seen each other for some time. And welcome to our first dev stream in 2016. Um, yes, so right now I'm by myself because I don't know, people knew about the stream, but for some reason nobody's here right now. I hope maybe Hannah or Stefan will show up later and might join us, or join me, I mean. I'm by myself, so otherwise, so far it's just me, and I'm gonna do game dev and try to have a look at the chat. You know how it is. Usually don't watch the chat that closely. Anyway, so hope you all doing well. Hope you had some good holidays recently, and hope things didn't start too bad in 2016, or rather started in a good way. And so you might have noticed that we didn't have a lot of updates over the holidays, which is because they're holidays. So of course we are happy some distraction. We still managed to do some progress. So we worked a lot on technical features in December, mostly stuff related to party members and a lot of new menu content. And since story is very important for our next update in for the next milestone update, which we actually do plan to release in end of January. That's not official yet. We still have to um, think about this, discuss this a bit, but it probably will be around end of January, beginning of February. So we plan to release another update, which will have more story again. So that's what a lot of people have been requesting, I think. And also party members. And in general, I hope that the new version things will feel more connected in a way. And yeah, so are there any questions so far already? Let me just check. Nobody's here because Games Done Quick is currently running. Actually just saw that. Yeah, that's probably one of the factors why there might be less people here today. Well, yeah, that's tough luck. Maybe it's we can make it a bit shorter today. It's just that after like 2 weeks break, I didn't want to skip another dev stream, so that's why I'm here today. So for whoever is more interested in pixel art of huge noses, you can watch here rather than games done quick. It's your choice. So, so yeah, greetings from Venezuela. Oh, that's from far away. Hi there. Greetings from Germany, from Saarbrücken. Question. Ever heard of Deponia? It's from a fellow German game dev. I know about Deponia. I haven't played it, but I saw several images and also a few videos. It actually looks interesting. I really like the character design. It's mostly that I'm not that much into point and click adventures though, but it's actually something I would be curious about to try sometime. But yeah. So I've heard about it, but I didn't play it. I think one member of our team, Chibi, the one who did our avatars, she actually played Deponia as far as I know, and she likes it a lot. Okay, so let's see. What we will do today is sprite art. Usually we start doing cross-central questions. However, we didn't have any cross-central question since a long time actually, so that's why I will now start actually showing you like a very nice feature for everybody who maybe haven't seen this so far. So if you backed if you backed CrossCode during our Indiegogo campaign back in March 2015, and if you got the watcher perk or above, you have you can submit cross-center questions. Um, and by submitting cross-center questions, you essentially um, we are actually required to answer this question inside the stream, and you are actually allowed to ask any kind of questions, even more some which are more complicated. So if you're interested about any technical detail or about any process or game development, you can ask about it in the cross-center question. You can also request features and whatever you can think of. And we will discuss this on these dev streams. So when you log in, you can just click on the watcher perk up here, which you get if you're back for the watcher perk, and you type in the question and details, and just showing this again so people don't forget about this. Um, it's just that way you can influence the content of our game dev streams. I mean, obviously we will also answer the questions inside the chat, but as for the watcher perk questions, those we can actually answer in more detail. So if we get like a very interesting watcher per question where we can tell you more about, we might actually prepare this and also make some small demonstrations on all kind of stuff. So that's the whole idea. Okay, I think we got another question. It was just, what was I watching there? I don't know. The question we got first, what is the music in CrossCode inspired by? That's a hard question. It's our composer Intero, I think, is a fan of several video games from the PlayStation area, in particular Klonoa, was it? I think it was Klonoa. Let me just check that. Yes, Klonoa. You know, that guy. Just gonna show this. So this guy here. So Klonoa was essentially one big inspiration, I think, for him. And you can also hear traces, I think, from stuff like Bomberman, Kirby. I think he has some inspiration from Kirby. And ironically, a lot of people compare it to Phantasy Star Online. And as far as I know, Intero didn't know about this, but it actually does sound like it's the Phantasy Star Online, so there is some similarities to that as well. So it's all kind of different soundtracks, and from my side, I always tell him do stuff like Hitoshi Sakimoto, because I really like this composer. He does like soundtracks from Final Fantasy Tactics, Vagrant Story, and all these kind of Final Fantasy 12 too. And I always give an example from Hitoshi Sakimoto and also Yasunori Mitsuda. That's one from Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, and maybe I have a slight impact that way, but usually Intero does whatever he likes. So it's mostly Klonoa, I think. It's spelled Klonoa. All right. Right, there was more questions. You say something in Spanish. Computer later would be a developer like you. I don't think that was for me. Okay. Also, like a small hint, if you actually write at Radical Fish Games, like this very long username I use, it might help me to actually spot the questions because I'm now by myself. Um, Popsicle Pete asks, has anyone offered to translate CrossCode into other languages? And we got several offers. It's kind of critical about translating Radic CrossCode at this point because a lot of dialogues that we have will change. In fact, that's what's happening right now. Since we continue the story, the first thing I notice is the way we currently end the story isn't exactly correct. So I'm already rewriting and dropping some of the dialogues. And if we will do this several times, probably during the development. And it's troublesome to just retranslate everything as we do this. Still, a lot of people suggested support in translating CrossCode, and uh, we will probably get back to those people sooner or later. We already prepared several tools that can help you to translate CrossCode. Actually brought something where you can export the texts and you can write in the translation, import it back, and then you have it in the game. So it's like you don't need any technical understanding to import different languages. Okay, and yeah, that's essentially it for languages. So for now, we don't think about translations, um, and but later on we obviously will, and we will get back to those people who essentially offered the help to translate the game. And yeah, what else do we get? Question. You have said before that you will make a new trailer once we have done a new story content to show. Will that be coming up? Will that be coming up then? I've often said that it's. I mean, we will do new trailers obviously at the very latest when we actually get close to the release of the game, because I think we need more and better trailers to actually show people how good CrossCode is. I mean, I was essentially the person behind the original trailer, but I mean, I essentially decided the content. A lot of people helped, but I was the one who essentially had the rough idea. And today, I think that um, it's not really the optimal representation of the game, especially the way it starts. It's not action packed enough. It's not intense enough right at the beginning, and I think that's what a lot of people while a lot of people on first impressions thinking that looks like an RPG Maker game. So we really have to try hard to work against this expectation to highlight a lot of exceptional scenes like the boss fight in the new temple mine and a lot of different things. And the problem right now is that we don't have a lot of people, experienced people in video editing. Um, Mostly I myself, I don't have a lot of experience or not even the right software to do video editing. We do have some people in our team, but they are usually busy doing other stuff, so I don't really can't afford giving them such a huge project and creating a big trailer for CrossCode. That's actually why I was thinking of maybe involving the community. It's actually something I've been thinking about for a long time. So it may be that sooner or later we will do some small competition, in a sense like yeah, it's essentially a competition. That's the idea that people can essentially help us by creating awesome videos for CrossCode, trailer videos, and like we select the best ones that essentially we select the best ones that will win a prize. So similar to the boss contest, probably there will be more interesting prizes for this. And like we will use all the videos that we like a lot, we will essentially use to promote the game. That that's at least an idea that I had. We still have to decide if we actually want to do that, but that would be one way to essentially get promotion material for CrossCode. So that would be a great way for the community to help us, because I think a very good video is worth a lot to promote a game. So it's great to see that a lot of people already offer the help right now, and it's really great to see that. So I kind of feel bad. It's kind of like it seems kind of like we're using people. The thing is, you can go to other people and pay them money to actually make a trailer. That's in fact something we did for the original YouTube trailer. And of course, the upside is that you're guaranteed to get some professional result. And if you do this kind of competition for the community, it's essentially you're doing stuff for free for us. And the only thing we give back is maybe like a prize when you win a competition. And it kind of feels how do you say? It's like it's so it's of course it's of course for some reason I don't know the right words right now. It's so but anyway, if people want to do this kind of stuff for free for us, that's of course that's awesome, and it's something that really helps us and CrossCode in the long run. So anyway, so enough talk about this kind of stuff. I think we should start doing some game development. I really hope some other team members will finally show up. Maybe they are also watching the this kind of competition which is running right now, which I already forgot the name of because I really suck at names. What was it? This streaming. No, I really have to see that. God damn it. Soon I will have it. Just give me a second. Ah, forget about it. So, yeah, I really suck at streams when I'm by myself. So, I think there have been some more questions, but I gotta start soon. Actually, Adek said that he really likes Dark Sword. So just some information. Dark Sword is some RPG Maker project by Innocentia. That's well, it's essentially a good friend of mine. Essentially, yeah, yeah. Essentially, she's my girlfriend. So and she's making this cool German RPG Maker project, and yeah, recently was in the stream of that one, and yeah, it's a really fun RPG Maker game. Unfortunately, it's just in German, but if you're interested in cool characters, you can. It's definitely worth checking that out. Um, oh, now I actually get questions in Skype. Thanks a lot, Atlas. That actually helps a lot right now. Okay, I think Stefan already noticed now that the stream already started, so hopefully we'll see him in the chat soon as well. Any second now. Anyway, so the question was, how have your holidays been, Felix? And yes, they have been great. Can't complain. There has been long. Was pretty relaxing for a change, so I didn't do too much stuff on CrossCode because I was with family and was traveling a little bit here and there. So it was kind of difficult to work on CrossCode all the time, but like sometime between you actually need a break. It's kind of hard to work like all the time, all the year. Um, okay, so I guess very soon, Stefan. So I guess like anytime soon, Stefan will join the um, join the stream, and then hopefully I will be able to focus a bit more on actually doing game dev. But I will try to do this already right now. Okay, and here we have Photoshop. People are talking about Featherball in HTML5 for those people who don't know what this is about. Like Featherball was my old RPG Maker project. Um, that I did before I worked on CrossCode. And it was essentially done in RPG um, as an RPG maker game, and it's like very traditional JRPG. That's how you can describe it. Essentially like FF10 battle system combined with for some artistic aspects from very high profile, I would like to say, and stuff like this. And so first of all, you will never get Featherball in HD from us because we're an indie developer and not doing AAA shit. And second, if we will ever release Featherball in HTML5, it will be a sort of different game because I personally don't think that doing these kind of turn-based traditional JRPGs these days isn't really the best approach. You can't just make much more interesting games these days. So at the very least, you can expect that the battle system will be different. It might still be turn-based, but not in the way it was in the RPG Maker days. And also, I have to really think about the story in Featherball because the Featherball has a horribly huge scope. That was the biggest problem with it. That's why I canceled it. So you kind of have to like reduce the scope. Another question: what program engine are you using to develop and code CrossCode? Oh, yes, exactly. And here we go. It's essentially, give me a second, wait for it. It's JavaScript. CrossCode is 100% pure HTML5 and JavaScript. It's based on the Impact.js engine. You still find this one online, but we essentially modified the engine and like almost 95 to 100%. And we essentially created our own engine based on Impact.js. That's how you can call it. And yeah, so that's how what we use to develop CrossCode. It's a custom engine. It's a crazy thing. I wouldn't recommend everybody to do this. It's just that we felt like doing things in HTML5. So yes, we get this question every stream, and that's why we prepared this image. Okay. So I think Stefan might join us too soon. Just give me a second. Right. Okay. Calling Stefan right now. Oh, notice that's a bit loud. That's better. Hello there, Stefan. We no problem. Yeah, I know it's like kind of unexpected. The stream started 8 o'clock and stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's also people said that's probably why we don't have a lot of viewers today, and that seems actually be the case. Oh, no, actually, there's a lot of more viewers used. Oh, all right. Oh, never mind. But probably a lot of them are watching this event, which I always forget the name of. What was it again? Yeah, awesome games done quick. Awesome AGDQ. AGDQ. Okay, yeah, that's kind of like a tongue breaker, at least for me. Okay, another question. Have you seen the new Star Wars? And I did, and Stefan did too, right? Oh, give me a second. I think. Can you say something? Okay, yeah, we gotta. Wait a second. People can't hear you. Gotta change something. And now it should work. Can you say something?
I can try.
Yes. Okay, seems to work. You seem a bit loud, I think. Let me just reduce that. Can you say something again?
I say something again.
Right. Yeah, that sounds about good. So people give us feedback if you think that I'm too quiet or Stefan's too loud. I can tweak this a bit. So you should hear him though. So yeah, yes, I think I watched the new Star Wars. I liked it a lot. It was pretty much like the original trilogy, like episode 4 to 6, right? So, and I like that.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like those movies, and there was a lot of references. And I think it may have felt maybe a bit too much like one of those movies, but
They were playing safe, right? So
yeah, I think that's what they exactly did. They just gave people exactly what they expected, and it isn't a bad thing. It's like the pacing of the movies was really great. It was like exciting most of the time, and I really liked the new characters. Those are some great characters they have there, I think. Like
yeah,
Ray and Finn.
Finn. I
Mm.
also like Poe and BB2.
Oh,
BB8. So
BB2, BB8 is awesome. Yes, that one is, that's really a great addition. Okay, right. So I already talked. I mean, so far I didn't start doing anything. I just talked about stuff, answered some questions, and now I think I will actually start doing some sprite art. So again, the plan is
all
that
right.
I just work on the expressions for this new character. Did you? I think we actually told people about this character already, didn't we?
I don't know if we called him by name, but I mean that's why we have to stream, right?
Yeah, we
To
can.
spoil things.
Yeah, we can spoil a bit. I mean, soon enough you will
Yeah.
get to know this character anyway. And
Yeah. So Felix is going to draw some poses uh, for a new, kind of more important character called Schneider.
mhm.
At least that's his in-game name. His real name is Lukas.
Yep.
And he's a tree blader. I think you already posted a picture. Yeah, you posted a picture on Twitter.
Yes, I did. Yep, yep.
So maybe some people of you can already guess his nationality.
Yeah, well, if his nickname is Schneider, he might as well be Japanese, like some Japanese guy who wants to be cool and use a German name. But that's actually not the case here, for a change.
But he has blonde hair and blue eyes. Come on.
Yeah, well, you can't just modify your appearance anyway, so that yeah. Okay. So here you see already um, the version we had so far, and at least one expression I worked on that was like one expression I wanted to try before I continued. Just it's some kind of new expression where essentially you just move the head back, And I realized that we didn't have this kind of expression so far, so I want to have these kind of expression as some very characteristic expression for this particular character. That's the idea.
Yep.
And that's why I wanted to try it. But otherwise, what you will see today is actually how we create expressions for characters. There's a kind of like a system, some kind of process I use. Um, and I mean, we worked on expressions before. I did some expressions for Emily, so if I remember correctly. But you just saw how I was essentially doing the details, like the eyes and the mouse, and like the maybe some like the content of the face. But what I will do today is actually do the rotations of the face, and that's something I usually do first. So before I do the actual expressions, I do two or maybe some up to three or no, three or more rotations of the face, and then I just put the expressions on those three rotations and make sure that I evenly spread those rotations among all expressions, because that way you get if you just change the eyes and the mouse and those details, you will actually notice in the transition that it's essentially always the same and just those things change. It kind of feels unnatural. But if you just add a small rotation of the head, it just looks much more natural because a lot of more movement is involved, and that's why I do this first. But you don't want to have like an individual pose of the head for each expression because then you have a lot of work. So it's kind of something in between where we just reuse the rotations of the head, but add a lot of different expressions on top of it. Yeah.
Sounds complicated enough.
Yeah, it's not that complicated.
And what you're gonna start, I'm going ahead and trying to answer some questions came up. So Peter Nillich asked, once again, I don't know how to code something I have in mind. I guess you too encounter that when coding CC. How do you deal with it? I often simply stall and never get to finish it. I think what we do is think about it. I don't know what your main process is, but when I have a problem I tackle on coding, I just think about it a little bit, and most of the time I come up with a quick and dirty way of doing it. And maybe not just quick and dirty, but somewhat.
Yeah. It's kind of. Did I just interrupt you? Well, it's just that.
Yeah, I just want to say it's basically like I come up with a way that it works. I make it work, and then usually when you make it work, you find out that you can do this better, and this is probably a better way to implement this, and you refactor. I mean, we did this in CrossCode a lot.
Yeah, refactoring is something. You too sometimes, I think. At least recently you did some refactoring, right? Of that list of. Anyway, so yeah, it's kind of. First you have to think about what does it mean you don't know how to do stuff. I mean, what I often it's like you have an idea how to do stuff, but you often get stuck on you haven't got stuck on how to do it in a good way. That's what I often have as a problem. Like, I usually know how to do stuff. I'm pretty sure I always find somehow a solution how to do things, but maybe that's also because I have pretty conservative demands. I already know what's possible in the whole system, and I don't come up with ideas which are impossible to develop usually. But so if I have an idea, I usually know how to solve it. But then I get sometimes stuck on how to solve it in a good way, that it's like easy to extend, easy to maintain, and things like that, and working in a clean way that I don't have a lot of work implementing this. And then sometimes there's several ways how you can do things, and it's sometimes hard to decide which one is the best. And so I know how that is, at least. Yeah. And I don't really know how to answer that otherwise.
I think most of this, also a lot of this, it's sometimes Googling. I Googled stuff. If I really, like, I know that there's an algorithm for something, but I don't know exactly how it went. I just Google it. I don't spend too much time trying to come up with it on my own. But most problems are already solved, so why would you spend the extra time trying to solve a problem other people already solved for you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's to some extent that's right, but I don't know. Like very precise technical problems, you can always Google, and it uses a lot as well. Like if I try to figure out how some API works or how um, how one very precise problem can be solved, then I just Google that. But if you're talking about a more complex architecture, just Googling won't give you a good solution because it has to fit your program and your context.
Yeah, if you're thinking about engine scope and so on,
Yeah.
then you need to be able to. I mean, as you said, you came up with the engine yourself, so you probably know what's possible and
Yeah, that
what's not possible, and
exactly, and that's why
or
also
what's very hard to do. So
yeah, that's also different if you have your own engine. You don't need to Google because you know your engine well enough, so there is also no documentation. There is no Stack Overflow entry for your engine because you wrote it yourself and it's not all that popular.
yeah.
So, but
But if it's
it's
something like you need an implementation for navigation, right?
mhm.
A star, for instance.
Yes, of course. I
And
mean, that's like a very widely used algorithm, and there it doesn't make sense to do it just to reinvent the wheel. You just look it up and re-implement
mm,
it. That's of course true. It's for very established algorithms. You should know about it and look it up and use what's there. And that's what I did for A star too. I mean, there's some very good um, explanation of the algorithm on Wikipedia, thankfully.
mm. Oh, where is it? I also tend to do is if I had a similar problem before, I try to use old code if I think it's good enough. So for the menu, for instance, I used a lot of code I wrote for Java back then.
Oh,
The
okay.
scroll, for instance, I knew I implemented this before, and I thought it was pretty smart implementation,
Huh.
especially since I wanted some time that you can drag the scroll bar.
Okay.
So that's why there is a special UI element for the thumb in the scroll bar. And the scroll bar actually knows about the size of the scroll pen and can manipulate the scroll pen.
I mean,
I just haven't implemented
yeah.
it yet.
It's the same for me for the collision code. CrossCode wasn't the first time I tried to write a physics engine, and I copied a lot of the code from previous attempts essentially, and copied some of the ideas. That always makes sense. I mean, when you
No.
already have it, you should use it.
All right. Moving on to more because there are more questions.
Mm-hmm.
Will you able to use able to see NPCs usernames using the inspect environment feature? The analysis feature, I think,
Yeah.
is what it is talking about. I don't know. I think we thought about it, right?
I think
Like
I
that would
thought
be a
I
fun
liked the
idea.
idea. Yeah, I think it would be a
Yeah,
fun
I have no
idea.
problem with it. I mean, we can give it a try. I think it's probably fun because we can like add really wonky usernames like x dash xxx ultra lord xxx dash x.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah,
all in that.
exactly. So that's probably something we will do. It's more like a gimmick though. Though actually it's a fun idea. That's I was just thinking find a certain NPC for a quest with a certain username. But then again, they usually have an exclamation mark flying over their head, so there's no point. Or
No, well,
otherwise,
you can. The
or we just
exclamation
say
mark is something we set. We don't have to.
that's true. We actually can make a quest where you have to look for a user based on his username, and there is no exclamation mark. So that would be actually a kind of fun idea.
Yeah.
As long
So some
as
right.
it's just as long as you don't make it too difficult, I think. So you should kind of limit the range. Say it's in that area, and then look for an
If you
NPC with
say
that name.
he's in Rookie Harbor somewhere,
Yeah.
so go look at Rookie Harbor. By the way, there's also something new I added for the quest feature, CrossCode can now have sub-quests. So you need to finish a quest to finish another quest.
Yep. That's something we realized when we did the holiday quest. That something we probably need, right?
I kind of realized it a bit earlier when I played Xenoblade Chronicles X because they do that too, and I thought
Yeah,
like,
you know
why don't we do that?
the original had this too. You know, I think
Yeah, but I
I'm
didn't
pretty sure
remember.
that's something that we mentioned during the development of Quest that Xenoblade also did this. But then we
Yeah,
still didn't
probably.
focus on that. But yeah, you can't do everything right away. So
It was like not really a problem. They work the same way as labels do.
okay, that's cool.
Basically, I just check for a quest. If it's done, then
I just hope
the
it works
subtask
now in arbitrary orders. You know, like the
or
problem
subtasks. Yeah.
we had this problem with where solving quests in like doing the sub conditions in the wrong order resulted in some bug. And that's something we fortunately noticed before we uploaded the new holiday quest, and then we just added a workaround. But I think this problem
Yeah.
isn't solved yet, is it? Or did you
This
find a
problem
solution?
should be solved.
Oh, so you solved it, you think?
I pushed a commit for that, but the feature itself isn't very well tested because
No,
right after that
I mean this feature is
restarted.
this problem with labels. Like, I mean, having the sub quest is essentially a workaround. So you
Ah,
simply
you
don't.
mean for the holiday quest?
Yeah, the holiday quest has this problem with the labels. So if you just went to
Yeah,
one
I
the
fixed
next,
that. I fixed that.
you fixed that.
So you
Okay.
have to you have to go to
No, that
Bergen
was the
first.
workaround. But there might be like the situation where for some reason you solve a label before it's even required, and in this case, kind of situations, currently the system gets stuck.
Ah, yeah. I probably should do something about it. Basically,
Maybe it's
that's like
something we can.
something.
I mean, we can avoid this by design. In general, usually it's a good idea to avoid this in the first place. But yeah, just to be sure, I would rather have it working.
Yeah, it's one of those recursive things. So when you solve a task, I have to check the next task, all the subtasks, and then if this is everything is solved, I have to check the next task again.
I see.
I do this for items. So when the next task has items, then you need to check the subtasks in case you already have those items.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that should be fixed. I probably fix this after I finish the enemy menu.
Yeah. Currently, there's no hurry, I think. So, yeah, what I'm doing right now is trying to rotate this head, and you see it's pretty manual. Unfortunately, we don't have any nice 3D model that we can just rotate, so I just have to push some pixel until it roughly looks like the head is rotated. It's sometimes a bit tiresome because you have to try around a lot. I'm not this kind of professional animator that can do this correctly right away.
I have a question to the
Mm-hmm.
state of the game. You aimed for release in spring 2009. I remember it so far. From the game,
Nope.
it seems like well, but will the money from the crowdfunding sales so far be enough for prolonged development? Yeah, Felix already answered.
Did I? So, I mean, what did I answer?
You said no because that's the answer.
No, the answer is like the release.
Basically, it wouldn't be enough, but we already make game money with the game, so that helps a lot.
Yeah, it helps a lot that we already have the early access sales actually, and
Yeah.
I think the money we get from this is better than expected, and that's why currently we don't have money problems, I think. But we still, I can only clearly say this after we paid all our taxes for 2015. So I don't want to
Yeah.
give any guarantee, but it's something we have to take care of soon. Um, yeah, there's this kind of stuff you have to do as well. And after that, I will see how it will work out. So we originally promised to develop the game until the mid of 2016. I mean, at the very beginning we said spring 2016, but I think recently we have been saying middle 2016, like the summer. That's something. I'm actually not really sure how we should do this. It's kind of. I was always kind of like nervous about this whole schedule thing. I mean, we make a lot of progress, but if you really want to make it in the middle of year, we really have to hurry, and we have to see how this works out. Anyway, the money will most definitely be enough until then. Though sometimes I wish we could just delay the whole thing, maybe.
Maybe we can. I think most of the players wouldn't mind so much, right? Like you guys wouldn't mind so much if we push the release 1 or 2 months back to make the game better, because we could release a game that's awful or broken in a way, like Minecraft was.
Maybe not broken,
And
but
everyone
rather
would,
incomplete and not enough content
yeah,
and not
rather
satisfying.
incomplete. So, and we would like to do we need some time to finish something. And I think that's something, at least from my perspective, when I heard, for instance, that the new DSX would get pushed back like half a year, I thought like, all right, they probably need the time, right? And it's actually pretty nice from Square Enix to let them have their time. Didn't expect that from a big publisher.
Yeah. The thing is,
because usually you have the EA problem, right, or the Ubisoft problem. They push out games, these games are unfinished, and you basically end up with Assassin's Creed Unity. A game that's actually kind of cool, like when you walk through the city and it's so full of life and everyone does something and they talk, and it's actually cool, but all the glitches, all the unfinished stuff feels so as if the game was pushed too early.
Yeah.
Same goes for Metal Gear.
Actually, I'm pretty sure if we ask people if you should just hurry or delay the game to make sure it's good, I think most people, at least that's what I hope, most people would say that delaying is a better idea. It's just that we have to. The big question is if we can afford it. Really, that's the biggest question.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's something we have to see, which we probably will know soon pretty well. It of course depends how early access sales will develop for the next few months. It obviously has an impact on that. But
also the program.
Hmm?
The program with the state.
The program what?
Yeah, exists.
Oh, yeah, like any support by the state. That's something we still try to do as well. So, depending on how those things go, we know how long we can actually afford to continue development. That's the biggest factor. And then, of course, I think, yeah, Deck 13 essentially has to be with us when we do that. I mean, in the end, if we really want to continue, I think there's little they can do. They don't pay us. They don't pay for the development, so we pay for ourselves. So if we really want to delay the release, they can't help it. But I don't want to like have this kind of collaboration where they like we just ignore their opinion altogether. So it's we have to at least talk about this topic, and so that's how it is essentially.
Yeah, but I can already see in chat everyone is saying delay. You guys are really nice. It's not like we don't want to finish the game. We really do.
Yeah, and I think
there's
people
a lot
at least
of
see that
pressure going along with it.
Yeah.
But good kind of pressure, just to say
Yeah.
it. It's good to have some pressure because then you actually do something.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing that you set yourself goals and you make sure that you reach them. And I think like the way we pushed out the code dungeon was really a success, I think. So we managed to create this whole dungeon in 2 months, which include a lot of new stuff and mechanics, and it's kind of worked out, and the result was well. So that was really great. Now we just have to repeat the whole thing a couple of times. That's the downside.
And we will soon do with our quest week.
Oh yeah, maybe we can talk about this too. It's like
yeah,
back
Also,
into
Ilbis Tyr just said, yeah, we like Xenoblade Chronicles. And actually, at one point, we thought about calling the game X-Code, but there's an IDE called Xcode. And we thought,
yeah,
like, that wouldn't be. The discussion is still online, so.
yeah, Xcode. Yeah.
Because he said we always have some Xenoblade Chronicles analogies, like.
Oh yeah,
We take a lot of inspiration from the
yeah.
series.
Xenoblade was one of my favorite games of all time, and Xenoblade X is also like a really good game. It's for me, it's not like
Definitely, it's not
it's not
like
quite the
go
same,
first,
but
go
yeah.
first.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. It has more focus on, I think, exploration and this kind of questing, and a bit less focus on story and characters, from what I see. At least that's my opinion.
You haven't played through it, so I don't want to spoil anything, but you play through it.
Yeah, I probably should, even though I already saw that at least DK was disappointed with the end. That's what I saw at least. Oh, I see. It's
Yeah, I think I already said that to you. I personally think they shouldn't have called it Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xeno World would be a much better name, or something else. Something else doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Because
For me, it wouldn't have changed anything because if I say it's like Raid the Xenoblade, I was hoping for something as cool, and in any way, no matter the name, I would have been disappointed, I guess, in
yeah,
some
but
sense.
but
But yeah.
um, but people wouldn't try to say all the time. Well, in Xenoblade it was like that, and in Xenoblade X it's like that. But people would be like, all right, that's actually a new kind of game, right? People don't compare Xenoblade,
Yeah, any
Xenogears to Xenosaga that much because they were
I
different
do,
enough. And I think
I do.
Xenoblade and Xenoblade X are also different enough
Yeah, they're
to.
different, but I mean that doesn't really. That's not a free ticket to do whatever you like, and I mean you can always compare games. I think that's what you always do. If you compare games for the qualities they have, and then you can say I like this in game X more and less in this other game. I also compare Xenoblade with Final Fantasy 12, and I say Xenoblade has a much better level design compared to Final Fantasy 12, and a lot of things. I always say that Xenoblade is like Final Fantasy 12 done in the right way. That's how I often say it, and those games are not related whatsoever anyway. So I always compare games no matter their name, and I will always do that. And to me, I will always say that. And okay, I still have to finish Xenoblade X to be fair, but I kind of doubt the story will have the same impact on me it had on that Xenoblade had. And but that's okay. I mean, it's just how it is. The game has a lot of other good points, and the world is extremely beautiful, and exploration is a lot of fun, and walking around in scales is awesome. So
Yeah, although they are hugely overpowered.
yeah, but it's cool. It's cool with me. I mean that makes the game shorter, which is good in my book because I don't want to play
What I
forever.
like about this that I like that they just did it, right? They did just like, all right, this makes the game easy, but like, whatever, man, let's do it
Yeah.
because you have fucking mechers, and that's like awesome.
Yes.
Of course, they need to be strong, 5 times as strong because they have ti 5 times as large. So
Yeah. I really liked how in one chapter there was this boss fight, which in the cutscene seemed so huge, and I thought, oh my god, that's a huge boss. And then I went out of the cutscene, all of a sudden I was in my scale, and it seemed fairly small again. I was okay. That's different perspective.
yeah, but you still need a lot of time to go from one side to the other side, from Noctilum to Oblivia with your scale. It still takes a lot of time, even though you drive a lot faster
I mean, they really
with the
made
scale.
sure the world is huge because of the scales, right? I mean, that's what I said.
Yeah, 5 times as large. I mean, I remember the explanation why the game world is so big. Yeah, well, the scales are 5 times the size, so the world needs to be 5 times the size too.
Quite simple.
Of course, makes sense.
Question: when you release a story update at the end of the month, can we expect new music? I really hope so. Um, Our
Me too.
composer in Terra was recently pretty busy with other stuff, not CrossCode related, and that's why he couldn't really deliver a lot of new music. But he promised that he will be able to do music in January, and I really hope so. So we are still waiting for a proper theme for Bergen Village, and also a proper Bergen Mine theme, because the one that we use right now is actually just a placeholder. I already wait for people complaining that the new theme is not as good as the old one. That's still gonna happen, but still. Um, and hopefully also like a boss theme and stuff like this. And now that we continue the story, we will probably also need new music for certain cutscenes. And I'm not sure if we can have all of this ready for the next release, but there will be at least some new music.
Yeah, we really need some new music.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still doing the rotation thing. It usually takes time. And like with
Would you ever
everything,
use this engine again? What engine? Our engine? We would use it every time.
yes, it's the best
It's
engine
the
ever.
best engine.
No, seriously, I really like working with HTML5 and this technology. Of course
Definitely.
it has some downsides. That portability is of course an issue still. You know, maybe we would just like to put in all the consoles and all the platforms, like just like this, but that's not really solved as of yet. I mean, it's something we will probably work on over time, but that's in fact it may be more challenging. But other than that, just working with the engine is awesome. It's like we have full control over it, and that's really worth a lot.
I agree. I really like our engine. Especially things that's so flexible. I can just add things if I see fit that we need them. I think you once said the main menu music was a placeholder as well.
Oh, I think
The
yes.
the title menu, yeah. We had something else for the tech demo, which was more sad, but I
Yeah.
think you didn't like that.
Everybody liked it, but I thought it was too pretentious, and that's why I wanted to have it removed. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe we'll have different title theme sooner or later. But that's actually something we may add later on, or even close to the end of the development, because then we have a full grasp about the whole soundtrack, and then we just might revisit and say, okay, this theme is really important, let's make it to a title theme, or something like that. Doing sprite out of huge pixel
In Game
noses.
Freak, there's not going to be voiceovers for CrossCode, sadly.
Well,
As much like as we would like to do it, I think it costs a lot of money. The last time I checked, it's like $8 a word for a good voice actor, or for the site I was
yeah.
looking at. And I think what we would need are more or less not so known voice actors. I mean, that's a fun thing. We could actually easily get Adam Howden, right? It's like no problem at all to get this guy.
Okay. But
Getting his contact was 5 minutes of internet search.
he's expensive,
And
right?
no, he's not very expensive. That's why they
Okay.
took him for Xenoblade, because all these people weren't expensive.
Okay.
Um, but it's still expensive for. It wasn't expensive for them. It was like per character $20,000, but it's expensive for us.
It is, yeah.
Especially for a
25,000
whole
bucks
voiceover.
is so, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
What we would do anyway is voice important scenes, I think, and
yeah.
like the usual Zelda thing, where they just make a grunt,
Mm.
like
That's something. That would be cool. Maybe some very light voice acting. But yeah,
maybe again something like Xenoblade did. listen, maybe like the Manon, because those are very, very annoying.
Yeah, the extremely high-pitched voice there. My gosh.
And they always question everything.
Like at the end, like, right? Or isn't
Yeah,
it? Or
right.
yeah, that's. I
Isn't
think
it?
I
Okay.
think that's something the game does well. I think having these kind of speech patterns for their characters. It's something I like in principle. But yeah,
Uh, um, how about making a community project? The problem is with everything, we want to make it. If we have voiceovers, we don't want to have them different pitches and different heights and everything, right? So they need to be on the same level. They need to, because that's like I think we at least need to do that because it's like the perfectionism we are into. I wouldn't like to have Leia with some background noise, and then another character had a better microphone and would sound better.
yeah. I'm sure we want to have a good quality for the voice
Yeah,
acting, and it's something that might be difficult to get with the community. But I'm not exactly sure actually because there's a lot of community work going on for with respect of voice acting, and so maybe there are some crews which are actually doing some pretty good work for.
I wholeheartedly agree. I would say there are very much fan voiceovers. I mean, the Dragon Ball abridged series
Yeah, stuff
has
like
very
this.
good voiceovers, and but you need to get to them. And there's still another problem. I think we wouldn't just um, choose whatever voice we would get, simply because again that wouldn't be cool if we just like, hey, we need a female voice, whatever, we pay you $2, you take it, we take your voice. No, we would
No, I mean of course
we would like to have,
you want to have you do some casting. You get several people who would like to,
right,
and then you choose from among them.
right,
That's
and
what
that's
you.
also a process we would need to do,
Yeah, and
which
that's
is
just
probably a
takes time.
time-consuming process. I
So
mean, the
yeah.
good thing about these sites where you can
What the fuck?
listen to voice actors, you can listen to samples, and you already get like an idea of, all right, this voice sounds like something I want. And
Yeah.
as always, I actually have a list of possible voice actors I like for specific people.
Yeah, we had this discussion actually about voice actors. I remember on the last Cross Week we had back in 2004.
Mm.
I think you were talking about like potential voice actors in CrossCode. Uh, there's always like we had this idea. It's something you should dream about, like having everything voiced and all that.
That would be that would be super cool. But yeah, I said it needs to be. We need to have quality for that
Yep, yep.
because we can't just have everything good and then one thing is just bad. Although that sometimes works, right? So
Yeah.
for it worked for Undertale. The game hasn't the best graphics, but it surely is an amazing game.
Yeah. I mean that's true for a lot of indie games, which just shows that graphics is clearly not everything. It's just that
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
when you
consistency is important.
yeah, consistency is important there, but then again, if you go for like a strong um, a strong presentation, I mean, even though CrossCode has just 2D graphics, we still go for a pretty strong presentation because put a lot of effort in the pixel art, and I think that would be like wouldn't like giving an not the best wouldn't be a good match with some poorly done voice acting in comparison. That's just what I think.
Hmm. Where's Henning? Not here. I don't
Not
know.
here today. Probably will
I
be
think
with
he's
us in one of the next dev streams again.
yeah. I think he's in Skype chat, so he's online and healthy.
He should be alive.
Yeah.
Yup, yup. Man, this
Oh,
takes the. I really. The thing is about streams is I'm talking too much, and I really have problems focusing on stuff when I'm talking. So I'm just.
that's why I'm here. So
Yeah.
shut up and Pixel,
Okay.
go away. So let's talk to the people. Did any one of you play Undertale? But we can't spoil anything,
Oh
right? Because you didn't play it, so we
gosh.
can't talk about it.
No, even Stefan played Undertale. Like there's like nobody on this planet didn't play Undertale except me and a few selected few, I guess. Yes, I guess I also have to play it sooner or later, or I'll go crazy.
Or better question. Okay, let's have a better question. How did you spend uh, the 31st? 31st
31st?
and New Year's Eve. How did you spend New Year's Eve? How did you spend New Year's Eve? That's what I wanted to say.
Oh,
Words.
okay.
For me, it was playing Smash with friends.
New Year's Eve. So yeah, I essentially finished Final Fantasy IX with my
You shouldn't
girlfriend.
talk, Felix.
What? Oh, come
Go
on!
Pixel.
That's unfair. Yes, whatever.
Mm. Yeah, Undertale is a very memey game. It plays memes very well.
Okay. Yeah, I already saw that.
It also has it has one of the best soundtracks I heard
Soundtrack
this
scene.
year,
Yeah,
last year.
I already heard the soundtrack here and then. It really sounds great.
Like the theming is very strong. You clearly hear like how he spent time to meticulously create a track just for a fight with the main theme in it, but with some twist in it and very good.
Uh-huh.
And I really didn't expect it. I actually thought it had maybe a touching story, but not this kind of story.
Okay. Oh man.
Possible to buy the soundtrack if the game is done. Probably, I think that's what we wanted to do and what we should do. But it's always a choice. We can't do alone because we have to ask our composer.
I think he wants to sell the soundtrack, yes.
Yeah, he wants to sell it, so I think we can do that.
I think that's an interest for most composers to sell it in one way or the other.
Definitely.
This is tricky. It's like it's especially difficult to do these kind of rotations for these kind of very geometric shapes because there you clearly see if the transformation is or correct or messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of small tweaking here. Well, I think it looks roughly okay now.
Yeah. And never forget, T3 is maybe going over it anyway, so let him do the work.
No. He cannot fix something that's entirely broken. That's not.
Yeah, that's true.
He's more like helping out, polishing the details. But the rotation, I already have to do some good work there.
Mm-hmm. I had two noobs. Everyone had paid at least $35, euros, I think, was euros. Get the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. So for every got that, paid that much. I think that was like an early bird thing, and then it was 40 after 500 people got that tier.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't see why we shouldn't. I mean, people can easily get to the soundtrack one way or another. It would be much better to for people to show support by being able to buy a soundtrack. That's something I really don't like about AAA games, that sometimes they don't release soundtracks. I really hate that
They don't, okay.
so much. Some games you have to. Sometimes I can understand it because of licensing issues for like Smash, and sometimes I think, why can't I have a soundtrack, like of not just a selected few, like when you brought the 3DS version and the Wii U version of Smash, then you got this 2-disc thingy.
Mm.
But I just want to buy the soundtrack. I want to give them money, but they don't want to have it. It's like really weird
Yeah.
to me. Could money off the sound? They could make money off the soundtrack, just the music, but they choose that they don't want to.
For some
Bless
reason, there
you.
must be some additional cost to producing the soundtracks. Even though I don't, in the age where I sell most of the stuff digitally, is it really such a huge cost factor to offer a soundtrack?
Yeah, I mean, they don't need to even they don't need to make any disc version, no physical version, just a digital download of the tracks would be super cool. And that's something else what's cool about indie games, right? Because most indie game developers release the soundtracks along with the game.
Yep.
Undertale, Shovel Knight. A Shovel Knight, you can even get the soundtrack for free if you want. It's pay what you want for that one. You can even get the original tracking files, so you can make remixes
Yeah, it's weird.
because you have the whole tracking thing. I really like that. I think it's a cool idea for people that might not be into making their own music or are not that good in making music, but are very good in editing or adding things to that. But yeah, soundtracks. I think that's a very weird thing. So what you have to rely on is people that extract sound, the music from the game, and offer it to download, right?
All right. Yep. So, where are we? Okay.
Yeah,
I
me too,
got
Majin Sonic. Looking good.
now I have to decide for a second rotation. And I want to have it sideways because sideways rotations are easier to do than upwards and downwards. And but should it be sidewards or inwards? I think it should be inwards. Yes. Well, I'll make
I
it
didn't
sideways.
play.
I make it sideways because the thing is
Do
that
it.
Emily already has upwards and inwards phase rotation. If you do the same for Schneider, you may notice. So I'll make this one sidewards instead. And then there's also like the third phase where he just pushes back the face. There's actually no rotation, he just pushes back the head. And the way it is actually, I think it's good enough. So, so we actually got 4 different phase states for this character.
But I mean, when you said you like hearing video game music while coding or making games, I do that too, and I think Felix does too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, in general, music is kind of sometimes really good to motivate you to keep working. Like it helps you to focus to work. In fact, I think. But it has to be
Mm-hmm.
important. It's important what kind of music, at least for me. I can't really work well with very exciting music, even though I really like exciting music like battle themes and stuff like this. But when I hear this kind of music, I have problems focusing, especially when I do programming and these kind of things. It's less of a problem when I'm drawing stuff. So, but I tend to listen to a lot of calm music. Um,
Yeah, I have a whole playlist called Quiet
yeah.
just for that purpose.
I removed this one again. Damn it. Let's hide those guys.
Yeah, it's a shame we had to fight for our Indiegogo. Marketing is hard. Having euros is hard. Having Indiegogo is hard. But at least we somehow made it. I actually don't like hearing our own soundtrack while making anything for the game. I
Really?
usually have the music turned off when I'm testing because I hear it so often it gets annoying.
Really? I don't feel that way. I think sometimes it depends. So if Intero has some new piece of music, I often have it that I just keep listening to that music forever while I'm doing work, and it really motivates me sometimes. For instance, the Bergen Trail theme, I think I heard. Let me just look how often I listen to the Bergen Trail theme. I have it in iTunes, so it counted.
You should pixel.
No, I have a Pixel soon enough. Let me just look this up for a minute. Yes, so like there have been actually 4 different versions, and if I sum up all those versions, I think I get to around 800 times listened. So I listened 800 times to that theme until I got tired of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
if
re
you test menus and you hear it every time while you're still trying to listen to other music, it gets very annoying.
I usually have the music turned off in CrossCode when I'm doing playtesting.
Yeah, me too. That's what I mean.
Yeah. It's just that I just listen to new CrossCode music when Terra just has finished anything. So
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna save.
Can the title screen show our game progress? Many games do this. I don't think we will show progress in the title screen, but in the save file, we plan to do so.
Do
But
you
there
mean
isn't much
progress on? I
progress.
think they mean progress on development, right?
Yeah, but the title screen already does that.
It just shows the version number. That's not.
No, you can also check the progress in the changelog.
That's true.
So I'm not sure. I think Kovac asks for the game progress.
So how far you played the game? Okay.
Yeah. So I think what we do is like a little percentage thingy, maybe. But it doesn't make sense to add that now because there's so much stuff missing. And I rather would like to add this when the game is done, close to done. So we can just have a max and min value for at least the story progression. I also don't like to show story progression, the percentage for that, until you played through the game, which is at which point it's 100%, because it's like a better way to keep the player like going on. For instance, I don't know how many chapters Xenoblade X has, and I don't want to know. Because then if I would know, I would think like, oh, it's only 2 chapters and it's over. I feel like it's cooler if you know that you're going to the end and not the game telling you it's now the end. You reach 90%. But for stuff like item collection and so on, there is going to be percentage. There's already a system for that counts enemy kills, items collected, even divided by item type and item name. Or not anymore. I don't know if I removed it or not. But we can count how many enemies you killed. We need to do that because quests.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of size, I noticed that the small area icon next to the save file always shows Autumn Rise, even if I'm on Bergen Trail. It does?
Which one shows Autumn Rise? In the save file?
Yeah. Wait a second.
Do you talk about the
It
image
doesn't do it
or
for me. I mean,
are you
the
talking
image
about...
is a little pin.
No, I mean the image on the left
If you
side.
you mean the image. The image shows the chapter you're in.
Yeah, I think that's probably something you first have to get used to. Maybe you have to think about what images we will show exactly in those. But the images correspond to your progress in the story and not too much your location. And the reason I decided to do it that way because I think it actually helps to find your game state again. It's like you kind of get used to this image because you know, okay, that's where I'm currently at in the story, and then you save, and when you look for it again, you will see it again because you have this image in your mind. And but if you just have the image on depending on location, then you just go to a different location, you save, and all of a sudden your save looks entirely different. And then this correspondence to image to save state isn't. It's more noisy in general. So the image really depends on something like your location, which might change at any time, rather than like the chapter, which changes only a few times. That
Hmm.
was at least what I thought. Yeah, and the thing is that we don't progress the chapters properly, and that's why you're always in Autumn Rise, I think. Or do we
Yeah.
progress?
No, that's currently the last chapter I added.
Yeah.
Chapters are tied to your story progression, so you don't even need to do anything. I think the last chapter, or the most current chapter, would be chapter 3. I need to give it a look. Yeah, chapter 3, Into the World. So later on you will find for each chapter a entry in the lore menu, which kind of summarizes the stuff that happened in the chapter. And there you can actually see the name of the chapter. Right now it's just a number. Menu background. The title screen should change its background based on how far she is in the story.
Oh, yeah,
I
we had
think
this
that
topic
doesn't make much
before.
sense because we have save files, right? So
Well, you can make it depending on your most recently loaded save file. That's an option, I think. It's just that
yeah,
it's a lot of work. Creating a new title
yeah.
screen depending on where you are is a lot of work. And I would rather focus on getting the game done first. But we had this topic before. I actually said that we can do this if we are careful and we start creating cutscenes. We can create those cutscenes in a way that you can reuse them for the title screen, and then that might be possible. But otherwise, it's just an additional amount of work.
So for now we won't.
I think so.
I think the title screen works very well. It's in the same fashion as again Xenoblade, where it shows one point in the game or one area, right? Like for Xenoblade, it was the sword in the ground, probably the Gar plains.
Yeah.
For Xenoblade, it's like the view on NLA, and I think that works pretty good for a title screen.
It's pretty basic, but it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How would you handle multiple save files with different progression? Yeah, as Felix said, we would probably take the most advanced state or the last loaded
the last
save.
loaded state, I think, would be a
Yeah.
factor, or maybe like the one that's most far.
Yeah. We can save that in.
So it would be possible to do something there, but I'm not sure if it's really. It's not something we should focus on now. Stuff is really... Ah, man. It's kind of mind-bending here to figure out how those things are actually rotating. And I thought like rotating sideways would be easier, but it turns out it's still not easy. I mean, with that face and all those spikes, everything is difficult.
You drew him that way.
I know. Yeah, it's gonna be fine somehow. It's probably another thing where it's not worth being too perfectionistic, because in the end, I think it will be okay even if it's not perfect. Just has to look kind of plausible.
In case of doubt, we can always ask T3 if he can take a look.
Yes, if you have a problem, put T3 on it, but he first has to finish some other stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
Does he
also,
actually have something to do right now?
you know that I had to help T3 to do the rotation, the salto of Shizuka for the special attack?
Ah, yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
It's true.
so it's also not his strongest point. It's nobody's strongest point. Doing rotation sprites, it's really difficult.
You mean the part where she was spinning while simultaneously
Well, just making a
spinning?
somersault forward. That was the part, I think.
Wasn't it like when she got out of the somersault?
No, like when she
Wasn't
was
that the
spinning
problem?
up and when she did this kind of attack where she threw down the enemies, and she was doing a somersault forward. And I think that was the problematic part.
Hmm. I think for those things you also need some experience, because if you never did it before, then it's problematic. So it's good if someone is a helping hand. The next time
Yeah.
around, you have some experience on the topic.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I always do these rotations first, and only a very few, like 2 for most characters. And Leah's the only exception. She actually has 5 rotations for her face. And maybe some special
She's the main
characters.
protagonist.
Yeah. And maybe over time I will add some more rotations for characters like him here. But 2 are usually enough for a start. And yeah, you might notice the process. What I'm often doing is I just first make some very rough preview, or just move around parts of the image and see how it roughly looks, and then I try to fix the details. That's what I very often do for these kind of animations. Any questions in the chat or anything?
It was Tia asked if how we would determine which is safe to use, but it's already been answered. So
Yeah.
nothing else right now. Shed is quiet. Shed is watching AGDQ.
Maybe. Probably.
Which is okay too, because it's for good cause and everything. Peter Nillich, Felix only does it step by step, so of course he will move the hairs too.
Yeah, me, I'm currently working on the hair. He says that,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the hair on the back has to be modified a bit.
Yeah, it has to move a bit, but not too much. No, I think it's already okay. Maybe a little more for shortening on the hair.
On the side, yeah, you might have foreshortening on
Mm-hmm.
the side
Yeah,
of
on
the
the
hair.
side. Yeah, on the side.
Yeah, we'll try something there.
Are there any new ideas for game codes? We actually will add a game code,
Yeah,
or we added a game code
for the next
for
release, for the holiday quest, essentially.
yeah,
That's the
essentially
idea.
for the holiday because we don't want it in for the game because of references, right? We don't just can have these references like in the middle of Bergen.
It's like a bit too obscure to have this weird holiday man, which obviously is not a reference at all, but some people might think that. So that's why I rather have it only as some kind of gimmick you can get with the game code. Or actually, it's a bonus code, no, not game code. Because game code is confusing everybody.
Yeah, right. Bonus code is a better word.
So I think what I have to do really is one more this way. Yes.
As long as people had fun with the holiday man quest, everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the time we spent on it, it turned out pretty great.
Yeah. It was done essentially, I think, in 2 days.
Yeah,
And
including graphics and
on the
props and
holiday.
everything. On holidays, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, essentially on Christmas, we sometime. No, actually, no, the day before Christmas. But yeah.
Yeah,
I
I spent
wasn't.
most of 22nd and 23rd on it. And 24th
Yeah.
probably.
So what do I do with this one here?
Ah. Finally found a bug.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did a bit more refactoring, even more refactoring. So we now have sortable list menu, which is basically like a tab menu with a list entry and an info entry.
Yeah.
Because
Actually,
we need this.
yeah, just continue.
Yeah, so we need this multiple times for the synopsis menu, and I just thought, come on, man, it's probably easier. So now the enemy menu only has 68 lines of code.
Oh, nice. 68,
And
that's
yeah, so the list itself is in another file and the info part is in another file.
okay.
But the map itself is down to just 68 lines of code.
Nice.
And the lists are also refactored, so we have a tab pan and it automatically caches the lists inside it.
Yeah. By the way, this morning when I was debugging the enemy menu for that one problem we had, first had to figure out how to actually open it. I, I had to
Oh
try
yeah,
out.
you need to
Need to add the item. Yeah, I didn't read
yeah.
anything about it, so I had to just try around a bit, and then I found the item. And I also noticed while trying around that the game crashes when I open the profile of Kala. Are you aware of that? Maybe you
Game
should.
quest when I open the Kala.
The Kala lore entry. When I hover
Did you
it.
unlock it
Yes,
somewhere?
I unlocked it somewhere in your edge test map.
Wait. Quest? No, we don't. Ah, I guess it's because something is null, probably.
Yeah, obviously.
Something is not there.
Something's missing, yeah.
Yeah, cannot read property of undefined. The usual suspect. Ah, oh boy.
You found something?
Yeah, that's it's because you have multiple pages, and if you switch from an entry with multiple pages to an entry with just one page, it crashes.
Oh, okay.
In my head, it made sense to set something to null, which I shouldn't have.
Oops.
But it's fixed easily, so that happens. What do people say? You made great new sprites for Leia with that nice hat, but I find sprites are missing, like level up animation and Krabby Redux back jump animation.
Yeah, I noticed. That's kind of like a problem that we have to solve for skins anyway. Right now, actually, the normal level up should work, I think. It's just that at certain points where we just show animations for Leia in cutscenes and stuff, it's not working, and that's a problem. Yeah, so that's something we have to fix when we properly introduce skins.
Yeah, I mean, the whole Christmas hat was just a quick and dirty idea.
Yeah, I just wanted to test how much work it actually is to add essentially a skin like this, just having a Christmas hat. And as I feared, it is actually a lot of work, and it's really exhausting work. Especially, it's a work, but it's like really tedious. You just have to go over all the poses and add the same detail over and over again. And the thing is, a Christmas hat is actually pretty easy to add because it's very easy to sprite. It's a very simple looking hat. And if we add something more difficult, it will be even worse. So that's again, we can't really promise to have a lot of skins for there. It's just not feasible. It's just a lot of work, especially since Leia will most likely get a couple more poses and animations. We don't have all of them finished yet.
Yeah. So the monster fibula shows information about monsters, right? Will the lexicon do the same for trade items then, like where to find and locations for traders? Location for traders is something we still want to do.
Oh yeah,
At least
that's
Felix
true.
wants to do it. But there is no lexicon entry. There's encyclopedia, which is the lore menu. There's records, which is like stats. And there's the almanac.
Yeah, what
I
is
think that's
records
where
actually?
put it.
What is records exactly? Yeah, I saw it too, and I was wondering
Records
again.
is where you see stats like how many enemies that you killed and stuff like that.
Oh, I see.
That's the the menu with the numbers.
I see. Yeah. I just noticed today that our menus are already pretty full. We got one free spot right now, with question marks. And the thing is, I want to have a party menu, which probably should take one spot in the menu, because it's kind of like a central. That's why I think it should probably have a different spot. And then a status menu, and then we have two new menus. But the thing is, we got the save and the option menu in the character menu. Maybe we can remove those. I was thinking because we already got them in the pause menu.
I actually use them exclusive. I actually never used the options menu in the pause menu.
I always use option, and I think a lot of players do because that's how you learn it. Like you actually start using those things in the option menu, at least saving. I know we can do a poll, but I think that's what
Why don't we add a hot button for the status menu?
a hot button.
Yeah.
We wanted to add something like this for an equipment anyway, that they can quickly skip to the status, but I still would like to have a special menu for that. And I think it's
Yeah, I mean,
actually
in the main menu can have a hotkey, a hot button at the top next to the back button for the status menu, for instance.
okay. I don't know about this. I don't really
But
see the
exactly
point
what,
why we should have
but
options, and
what should the party menu be?
the party menu is about forming your party. You see, it's about that at some point you should be able to decide which characters are in your party. That's what I was thinking about.
But for now, we only plan on a maximum of 2 characters.
Yes. But yeah, of course, but
Then,
it does mean that you don't have to have them in your party. That's also the point.
then I would first add the status menu, and then I would say the party menu is something we implement similar to the way you did it in Velzabor.
There's a that you can just
Because
select your party right in your menu, or what do you mean?
yeah, because that was quick, and I like that.
I don't know. The thing is, I also was thinking about some other things you can do in the party menu. That's why I'm not sure about that. It's like I want to have an option that we can simply text people that you have met before and ask them about stuff, or just say hi in case of Leo.
I mean, with some, we can also add another button between synapses and status, for instance. Just move everything to the top and to the bottom a little bit. Another button would fit in.
Yeah, maybe in the worst case. I just don't understand why you want to have the option the save menu on 2 places.
Yeah, I would remove it from the options menu. I
That's,
don't like
sorry,
the idea
but
of having.
sorry, that's not possible because you want to save before you get the character menu. I'm sorry, but you have to do that.
Wait, no, again.
You have to be able to save before you get the character menu, which is not.
Yeah, but I
which
don't
is like 30 minutes into the game.
Yeah, but I like it more when I save in my main menu. That's like how I always saved. I actually never saved up until I could save in CrossCode.
I mean, I think it's essential that we keep the option and the save menu, the option menu, because these are 2 things that you want to do right away in the game. Saving and having options. So the only option is either having it only in the option in the pause menu or don't have them on 2 places. And I don't really know about having them in 2 places. In the end, we can do a poll about this. If people now think we want to keep them in the character menu, then of course we can do that, but things will be crowded in the end. That's what I'm kind of afraid of.
I'm looking at the menu, thinking about a way. If you move save and options, you have 2 new slots.
That's true.
3 even.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we can't just remove one of them. That's, of course, an option too. As long as we don't get any more ideas, but yeah. I think having just one more slot would be enough. So maybe just having the options.
The problem I have is like, I don't know if many people know about. I mean, obviously there's a pause menu, but how many people use it that way?
They use the pause menu, for instance, to leave the game.
I just press Alt F4. Alt F4.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Or do you mean if you want to load another save?
Yeah. What do you do if you want to load another
Why
save?
press F5 when I want to reload the game?
Is that even
Actually, never
possible?
used return to title screen, but I can see players using that.
I can see that
Actually,
almost
don't
all
know.
players do that.
I actually never used in any game go back to title screen. Now that I think about it,
Some games
the
simply don't
only the
offer
only
this. Like in Final Fantasy, you have to have these weird hotkeys instead.
Final Fantasy hotkeys.
These press all the L and R buttons and start select.
Yeah.
Some games simply don't
The
offer
only
this.
the only idea where I just think about was in Xenoblade X. I returned to the main menu when I did get disconnected from the internet.
Okay.
Let me think.
I think people tend to pause the game here and there, and that means if you try to get out of the game, I don't know, so you always press Alt F4 to leave the game.
Why should I go through the extra step and go to the title screen and then exit the game?
I know I would like seems like forcing your way out and maybe things break.
Yeah, the game shuts down. I mean, I saved. I know CrossCode. I know how it saves, so I know my data is persisted.
I think it's essentially. I mean, if the problem is that you don't find the pause menu there. I mean, there is actually some introduction, but we can make it more clear. But I think most people don't have a problem finding the pause menu because essentially pressing the start button or escape on the keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if anything, I would probably just remove options.
That's okay, I guess. I mean, we can keep the save in the menu then. Because you also see the options in the game menu, so.
Yeah, because the only reason we added save in the pause menu was because we haven't had a menu for it before. We had a menu, so we needed some way to save stuff, and I added the debug save menu, and then I added a button for that in the pause menu. So I never intended to have save in the pause menu all the time. Options, I can see that.
Yeah.
But save game, I never used it in the pause menu. I never save.
Well, you had to before. So essentially, you never saved on the cargo ship ever, or what? I kind of find this hard to believe.
That's the weird thing. I always had my hotkey button for it.
What hotkey button? For saving?
For saving, yeah.
What kind of hotkey button?
I have a hotkey button for that.
So you press a hotkey to save. Does it create a new save?
No, it always saves in the first slot.
What the? Okay.
Yeah, I never really used multiple save. Yeah, like you have a lot of save slots. I usually only have. Now I only have like a maximum of 4.
You seem like a pretty weird use case to me, Stefan. I don't know. It's like.
I just said it's my opinion. I never said it's everyone's opinion. I already said I have no problem with removing options. Okay. I just never really saw saving the game through the options, through the pause menu.
Like I, for instance, I always save through the option menu. I never do use the character menu for that, personally. Because I'm just got used to doing it through the pause menu. Because that's how it has been there from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, in every game, it's more likely over the character menu. Like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Xenoblade. It's always the character menu.
There's only one menu in Xenoblade. Yeah, okay, there's...
There is a menu in the fighting system, which is really weird.
What?
When you press start while fighting, you have the battle menu.
Okay.
which is a very menu. You switch pages with X. The whole controlling scheme is a little bit weird in Xenoblade.
Okay.
In RPGs, you normally save with F5 and load with F9. I only think that's true for Western RPG.
Yeah.
I think Japanese role-playing games are more like go into the character menu and save there. Or go to a special save point, like Final Fantasy did. No, from Western RPGs that they do that with F5 and F9 for quick saves. So yeah. So you don't need to remove it from the pause menu. I just wanted to say that I never intended it to be there all the time, but I have no problem with it staying there. I don't use the pause
Okay.
menu that often. I actually only use it to look up the side messages sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how different to what things people get used, even though they use the same thing. How different it can be the use behavior.
So where should the party menu go? Below the equipment or below status?
Below status, I would say. Status is something I would actually add together with equipment menu. It's like goes hand in hand actually. When you have
Menu is
equipment, you
already
also.
there.
Hmm?
We already have an equipment menu, or what do you mean?
No, and like the status menu will be introduced together with the equipment menu, I think. Or maybe
We
together
already
with.
have an equipment menu.
No, yeah, I know. It's just like when it will be introduced inside the plot. You get one menu point after the other in the plot. First you get the equipment menu, then you get the skills menu, later you get the
Ah,
synopsis menu.
ah,
That's what
ah,
I mean, you know?
ah. All right.
And I said
Yeah,
that you get the status menu together with the equipment menu or
that makes
the
sense.
circuit menu. I'm not sure. We may just add it together with the equipment menu because you already want to access it in the equipment menu. And then later on you get the party menu. So to just avoid unnecessary gaps, let's just say you get the party menu below the status menu
Well,
or
let's
something.
make it official. I removed the options menu. The earlier we do it, the easier it's to get accustomed to it.
Mm-hmm. So I think sometime soon I might be finally done with that second phrase rotation. Oh man.
Well, right now we had to think about what we do with the main menu.
Yeah, that was
So
essentially
it's
doing
okay.
discussions about menu layouts and doing sprite art in parallel.
So yeah. So saving should be at the bottom.
Yeah, I think so.
Everyone is going one row down. Shouldn't be too hard.
Actually,
Deleting
since you know on the stream, what is your opinion about party members? Um,
mine.
yeah, the thing is, okay, I'm not sure how many party members we will have, but I still want to be sure and have some kind of menu where you can decide if somebody joins your party or not. I think actually I want to have players give players the option that they can just run around by themselves if they want to. That's the thing. In some occasions, they are essentially forced to have a party member to proceed, but in others they can decide if they want to run around with somebody or not. And that's why I want to have a party member, so you can actually manage your party sooner or later. Now the thing is that I think last stream we had this discussion, what are the conditions for getting a party member, like can you have a party member forever, or is there some kind of time limit attached to it? That's actually something that somebody.
Yeah, if you remember, I was in the chat and I said that you could say something like it's timed because the player is a player and it just decides, right, I'm going to
Yeah.
bed now.
So you think that's a good idea too? I wasn't. I'm still not sure if we should do this or not. No, that's why I'm bringing
But
it
we
up.
can do here's some options, right? Like .hack, for instance, did it like this. Some instance in the game you couldn't connect to other players, so you couldn't message. You could message someone, but he was offline. So there would just be a message: this player is offline.
That's something we were
You
gonna
can't
do as well.
contact
Yeah.
him. Yeah. So that's a thing we can do, and then at certain points in the plot, we just say, all right, you cannot connect to this player now. Or now you connect to this player, and maybe the player invites himself. We can do that. I mean, it's okay.
And but like if it's not connected, like if it's dependent on the plot, I would say the party member will stay as long as is required until you're done with the thing. But if it's not really required for the plot, maybe you can do something that after some time the party member will leave again. I mean that's something we discussed last time, right? That is some kind
Yeah.
of timer attached. But I'm just wondering if that's maybe too annoying. Maybe that's results in like so what you're gonna do if your party member left, can you just re-invite him again, or you have to wait a bit? And then the question is how long do you have to wait? Do you just have to wait in time? Do you have to move around a bit, or what exactly are the constraints?
I would say we can also have you keep the character in. I mean, that's again something. Maybe we introduce some sort of timer to notify the player about this is how long you can keep him. I mean, of course we should do that better, but in Xenoblade X, right, you can only have another player for 2 hours. That's something I didn't know.
2 hours?
Another player. No, I mean another
Oh,
player, another online player.
okay.
And I didn't know that. That was like the craziest bullshit. Because suddenly in the fight, in a tyrant fight, my party member just left.
Said okay, I gotta go.
Because the
Okay,
time
thanks,
was
bye.
over.
The fuck? Okay.
So we
So
probably shouldn't do that.
we have to be very clear about that. At some time, those party members will leave again. Yeah, in the middle of the
Yeah,
fight,
so the party
especially.
member just says, Blair, I have to go in a few
In the
minutes.
middle of the fight. Are you serious? I mean,
No,
at the
not in the middle. In the middle of the fight, the player doesn't leave.
Okay, okay, that's something
I would say
do it.
because that would make no sense.
Yeah. Okay. Ah, God damn it! Now I broke some other faces because I had to modify some. Hmm. So okay. Anyway, so that's all the things you can do in the character menu. Essentially, you also see the timer, how long the party member will stay in there, and I think you can also use the character menu to get some more detailed information about the stats of the player. That's also something worth thinking about. Like you can actually
Sure.
see stuff like maybe even the equipment, because right now the stats, the characters actually do have equipment. It's something I changed recently. It's just that you can't control it, but they will choose better equipment over time. And so maybe you want to be able to have a look at the equipment they have.
Yeah, although I'm not sure why you would.
Yeah, okay, there's
Well,
actually no point because you cannot influence it.
yeah, again,
Sort of.
something that .hack did here was you could gift equipment to the players, and if it was better than their equipment, they would equip it.
Actually, that's
But you couldn't get it back without trading. So there was a trading system where you could trade with your party members. And
okay.
yeah, and that's how they did it.
Actually, that wouldn't be too difficult to do in our case as well, I think. So we might add something like this as some kind of way to share equipment or something. But yeah. But maybe we anyway. So it's just a point where we can show additional information for the party members and whatever that may be, because we may decide that we add some other information that may be relevant. Maybe we have some kind of relation stat, and then we can show it in that menu too. You see.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the layout will actually be pretty simple um, to the enemy layout. That's what I was thinking. We may do it differently, but we could just reuse the enemy layout where just have a small list of party members and then the details and then maybe some symbols which show if they're in the party or not. That's an idea I had.
Don't know if it maybe something a little more adjusted would be cool there, because
We
a
can have
party
larger
member,
we can have
we don't
larger
have that.
buttons.
We had maybe bigger buttons, for instance. We don't need tabs, so we could make bigger buttons and which show a little bit more information about, like, is the player online? Which level is he at?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually. And maybe we can make the
Something like
right
the save
space.
menu, right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to have to use the full width, but maybe just half of the width, or maybe a bit more or less.
Yeah,
And then some
I
information
mean, just
space on the
the
left
height of
side.
the save button. Just
Yeah,
the height of the button.
the height will be higher. Yes, exactly. That's something we can do. I think that's actually something I wanted to discuss with you today, and I forgot about it. And now we actually do it, so that's good. Okay. Okay, I think I'm almost done, and we are almost at the 2 hours mark.
At Kovac, it's pretty much a lot of work
Huh?
if you make multiple heads for a single character, because currently it's kind of hacked. So changing the sprites wouldn't work that well. Couldn't you add an option for the changelog in the pause menu as well? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
The changelog is something I just added for convenience, basically. Because I wanted a way for people to see what changed when they start the game first, but then just play the game. I don't know if we need it.
I
in
think
the
it's
pause
enough
menu.
if we have it in the title menu, because it's not
Yeah,
something you
personally,
check frequently. Maybe just when you start the game, or maybe later when you're curious to just save, go back to the title and have a look. But it's not something you check frequently. The changelog. I can imagine a lot of players don't check this ever. Okay, slowly we're getting somewhere. I think that's.
Yeah.
It looks
What is
kind
the
of.
event Force Combat called? Force Combat, I think. I'm not sure. How's the event called to Force Combat mode?
Sorry, what?
Set Force Combat mode, I think. It's Set Force Combat mode.
Do you do some scripting right now or what?
No, someone asked in the chat what the event call was.
Why would somebody ask about the Force event? Force
Because
combat
he's
mode?
probably modding.
Ah, okay. Yeah, exactly. That's the command of it.
Value, a property is value. It's a bool, true or false.
If you search the game code for set force combat, I think it should include some kind of JSON construct. Oh, actually no. It's because of the obfuscation, the JSON is actually obfuscated and incorrect because it's not used actually in the game code. So you cannot really read the property description. That's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
What's the straw
See, not
poll?
everyone doesn't find the hexacast. Someone has problems finding the Quadrogard and Tree Blader in the Holy
Yeah,
Layman quest.
that's interesting.
Anyone can find in Autumn's Rise. I don't even know. I put him there, but I don't know.
Okay, like we got a nice poll here about which would you prefer, wait 2
Yeah,
to 3 months.
at
It's,
Lessa put it when we talked about it.
yeah, I didn't see it so far. Okay, that's pretty clear, I think. So whenever our publisher, like Deck 13, ask about this, we can tell them people want to have a good game rather than have to wait. Rather than have it right now. Like the opposite of to wait.
Yeah. So now the options menu is not in the main menu anymore. Just
Okay.
removed it.
We will see how player react to that then.
This also means there's now no description for the options menu, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, options is pretty clear. Options just options.
Now where we can show entities in menus, a whole new world has opened. Whole new world.
Oh my gosh. I just wait until we get the first effects inside the menu, man.
And then a mini game inside the menu.
Oh gosh. And then all the bugs will appear because the whole game state system is broken. Just wait for that too.
Did you actually notice that when you hover over some enemies in the enemy menu that they sometimes show a different animation?
No.
I added this as a little extra.
So, oh, you did this on purpose or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So every now and then, yeah, you can give an extra animation. So when you hover over the hedgehog, then at some point you will start spinning.
Ah, so you just have to wait or what? Or is it just
Yeah, just wait. Just hover over it and wait.
Oh, okay, that's funny. It's a small gimmick. That's cool. You should add the punch animation for the thriller boss. Oh, you can't see that one though. Something that you can see in the center. I think there is almost no animation. The funny thing is like the
Yeah,
window
it should
for
also work for the big view.
it should.
Large view.
Oh yes, there will be a big view, right? Almost
I'm
forgot
still
about.
unsure how I exactly implemented. I have the idea that the rectangle that shows the enemy in the quick view just gets larger, expands over the whole screen where everything else disappears.
Okay,
That would be cool.
sounds good.
Because that way I don't need to remove the game state and create it in a new. And it would look cool. So. But we'll see. We'll see.
Gah. Ah man, this is so exciting what I'm doing here. Yeah, I guess I'm mostly done now. This took a long time, really. But I think it's okay now. Right, so now that we have the different rotations, up, normal, and to to, I call this one towards, because saying left and right is not good because it's always mirrored. So I always say it, you look toward the other, the guy in front of you. And
Ilbis tiered was Namco Bandai, I think. Namco or Namco Bandai.
Namco Bandai?
The company that they patent the mini games doing loading screens.
Oh yeah, this one is over. So now we can add these two again on loading screen. Okay.
No. What you think about it's Konami. Bandai Namco is still running good. This is the company that makes all the anime games like Naruto, Ultimate Ninja Naruto Shippuden, Revolution Storm, Full
Also do
Burst.
Tails, right?
Yes, also the developer of Tales. So you can still play Dragon Ball Z games, and most of them have mini games doing the loading screens.
Mm.
But I think what a lot of games do these days is they have a loading screen where you can run around. And that technically is not a mini game. Like Bayonetta. For instance, in Bayonetta you can run around and do combos.
Mm-hmm.
And then press select and you can actually fight against an enemy. So since it's the normal gameplay, it doesn't count as a mini game.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Same goes for Assassin's Creed.
Hmm.
But there you can only run around.
Yep.
We didn't finish Xenoblade Chronicles X yet.
Oh yeah, that's the question again. We talked about this before, but you know. Yeah, I also didn't finish it. But from what I played so far, I really liked the gameplay and the bird exploration. But don't like too much the stories and the story and the characters in comparison to the original Xenoblade. That's it in short. Okay, so now what kind of expressions will we have for character? I at least want to do one expression. Expressions go pretty quick. Party member. So first we're gonna have a look at the dialogue to think about what kind of expressions would make sense. I know one, like at least one where he's laughing. We need that one. And that's why I added the upward face, because that one is perfect for laughing. Like the one where you laugh really loud.
Ha ha ha.
Yes. Ha 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 ha. Oh man.
So we need to implement that joke, Emily to Schneider.
What?
Schneider, you told us how to.
What?
If Schneider's laughing so loud,
Yeah.
Emily should make a reference to Final Fantasy X, saying that he teached her how to laugh. Taught her.
Oh gosh.
This way he looks like someone hit him.
What? Someone
in the
hit
eye.
him?
There was like a little bit shadow under his eye, so it looked like he was.
Never judge work in progress stuff. That's always annoying.
Well, I do judge work in progress stuff.
God damn it. It's just because Pixelart always looks crap at first. I always have to tweak things. Yeah, huge mouth. Yeah, mouth like doing mouses like mouth sprite art is always takes me some time until I get the right shape. So now people can actually again look how I always mimic the expression I'm drawing with my face. It's always what happens. I always do that. It's like, no, he's laughing, so I'm laughing. Yeah.
If it helps.
I don't know why I'm doing it. It's just subconsciously.
How much of the main cast have we seen so far? None. Everyone is just a side character. I think maybe half of them. Maybe half of them.
About half, I would say, yeah. There's
Yeah.
still there's a couple more characters which will be important.
Yeah.
Like in the past when I was drawing these kind of faces, I always skipped the teeth in the face, in the mouth, until I realized that it's actually really important to properly add the teeth because they make a huge difference on how the expression of the face looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important detail.
Very much so. Very important. Yes, yes. Oh, we're actually talking German. Did you happen to take a peek at The Man in the High Castle?
At the what?
The Man in the High Castle. It's a show funded by Amazon for Amazon Prime, but obviously you can watch it elsewhere too.
No.
But it's basically like an alternative reality to ours, where Nazi Germany won the war
What? Okay.
together with Japan, and they formed they split America into the Japanese Pacific states and I think Großdeutsches Reich.
What?
And
Okay.
it's like a very interesting story.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't have that much action, but it's more about the fear.
Politics. Okay.
The fear of propaganda and stuff like that. Like especially since you still have the problem with Jews, obviously, right?
Oh yeah.
Very, very interesting. can only say good things about it.
What was the name again?
The Man in the High Castle.
The Man in the High Castle. Okay.
Hmm.
Another good show. God damn it.
Well, it just started, so.
Okay. Hmm.
I just noticed that all our animal, like animals, hedgehog, rabbit, and so on, you only find them in outside areas where you find mechanical enemies in dungeons.
Yeah. I mean, we can break this pretty soon, but for the dungeon, kind of made sense. And there's also the bugs, which are not really robots, so they're kind of an
Yeah, I put the
exception.
bugs under animals, I think.
I think
No,
there
the
is. I did.
the bugs.
I didn't find the bugs actually when I checked the menu. Where are they?
They're called fleeces, right? Maybe they're not tracked. That's
Probably. Yeah.
possible. I had to add in a way to track which enemy should be shown in the enemy menu,
Ah, I see.
and we need to do this by hand
Hmm.
because we have so many enemies that don't even that aren't used or just for testing.
Yeah, that like a lot of enemies that are shown, like all the mouse enemies, like the ultra mouse. Okay, there's actually some enemy that you actually do fight. So, but I'm not sure you will find it in the final game. To be frank.
Mm. Yeah, I see that the Fleezer has a weird category. So probably what's causing it to not appear. Oops.
So, anything people are saying here?
Category is still hybrids.
Steel teeth.
It should be abstract.
Oh man. Let me just check how I did the teeth on Carter's face. She has like the most intense teeth.
Steel teeth.
Yeah, well. Okay, like let's look at the designer. Sorry, like Jim Mr. Freeze. That's his name. So, okay, that's how I did it here.
Maybe his eye. Oh, oh, you already changed his eyebrows. Never mind.
Okay.
So Fleezer is back in business.
Nice. But yeah, I think in the
Just
future we will have more robots outside and animals inside. Okay.
probably should add more sorting options like level and area.
Hmm.
Maybe a broken teeth.
A broken teeth? Seriously?
Would be cool to have that kind of character. Maybe for Grumpy Dude. We can add a golden teeth.
That would be kind of fitting, yeah. So what's this? Zoinks. Forbidden. Oh.
Yeah, you have to do the whole link because...
Ah, god damn it. White witch. Oh god damn it. People keep pointing out this Scooby-Doo character. Just because of the big nose, I guess.
Bye, noobs.
Bye bye.
I think it looks good.
Okay, I think it's good enough. It's expression is something you can easily polish and keep polishing until everything's broken. Actually, now that I remembered that before I start doing expressions, I at least should show the face to T3 so he can give his feedback. I forgot about this one. Damn it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still gonna show it. Maybe he at least like changes on the armor are easy to do. So probably should stop doing expressions and wait for T3's opinion. But the thing is that he's kind of busy, so.
With what?
Don't know, like.
I don't know.
I think he was ill. Yeah, that's the thing. Yes. I'm still waiting for Emily. Okay.
Come on, Freeze. T3. Do your money's worth.
Yup.
Actually, you do more than your money's worth. So. Calm down. He should definitely be on the course.
Sorry, I can hardly understand you right now for some reason. It's
Oh,
kind of.
sorry, microphone. I was just talking to Tubby.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so should I do more expressions now, or should I do a bit
Well, it's
of...
already 2 hours, so...
Yeah. I could do some drawing, or we just make the stream a bit shorter today.
Either
But
way. I'm already halfway in coding, to be honest.
Okay.
Can you actually show a little bit of the... Let me push. Enemy, menu, progress. Also moved options to...
Yeah, I can show the stuff
menu
that you
only.
did. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second so I can push. All right. Did you push something to death? Nowhere. No, you didn't.
No.
Right.
I only pushed
Alright,
through... you know,
Yeah, but
I'm probably soon gonna merge the combat extend branch into dev. It's too long and it's getting annoying to having two branches. Because now I'm actually pushing into combat extend.
Go ahead. I have no problem with it.
I'm not gonna do it right now because this might take some time. I will do it after the stream.
Yeah. Don't forget to switch the
branches,
scene
yeah.
in Twitch. No, not
yes.
the branch, the scene in Twitch, so people can see the game.
I'm currently committing stuff first. Actually, about the new side metric system that I've shown on Twitter, I was thinking that I will make it in the cutscene that Sergey is saying something, and then essentially while he's saying something, he gets interrupted by a private message. So it's like I show the text box, and at the same time you see the private message symbol popping up. And then you can press
Mm.
and it just opens the private message. Maybe I will also do something where um, you can to continue the dialogue while the private message thing is popping up, and then you just confirm and then it shows up. Maybe you can do that.
Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, you what you want to do, like Sergey gets a message from someone,
Yeah, it's
and
like
Leia
Sergey's talking
can read
about
it.
nee, Sergey's talking about stuff and then he gets interrupted by a private message. That's the whole point. So it should look like he's interrupted. And that's
Ah,
why you
all right.
have his message box, which is discontinued at some point, and then at the same time there's this new private message thing. It's actually how you get the private message for the first time. It's like Sergey just says,
Mm.
"Oh, by the way, um, I noticed that Emily seems to be online," and then at this moment, a private message pops up, and Emily talks to you immediately. And then at the end,
Yeah,
and then
that
at
seems
and then
like a
out,
thing she would do.
and then afterwards, Sergey says, "Yes, she's online." Okay. Yeah, she's like really extrovert and outgoing, and she's not afraid to contact Leia all the time, even though Leia.
Especially since Leia doesn't really talk back. So
Yeah, and she likes that apparently.
this encourages her even more.
Yes. She's always nodding, and that's cool. She's a very good listener. Okay.
Nah, she's just shy.
Hmm. So you have to think about when exactly Emily finds out that Leia can't actually speak. So far, I turns out like
Maybe Lucas somehow points it out that is or asks Leia if her module is broken or something because she never says something.
yeah.
And that moment, Emily realizes that that's
Yeah,
probably the case.
I think it's because of Schneider she will realize. She herself won't even.
Yeah, Schneider is someone who will notice.
Yeah, actually, I already started writing dialogue, and at the end, maybe you noticed how like Schneider did some weird, like when he said goodbye, Leia, and Leia said hi, he said okay, goodbye. It's kind of like this, and then he already noticed, okay, something is weird here, but anyway, I have to go. And yeah, he's the one who will notice this first, and then he will update Emily about that. And that will be funny, hopefully. Um, Also, question or like Ilbistir said, I really hope we get more interactions with Emily in the next update, and I think we can deliver that, yes. So there will be a lot of more
Yeah,
updates with Emily.
more Emily stuff. It was good that I remember how we added this character on the train ride. We thought about, hey,
Yeah,
we need a skilled. How about a female character to have company to Leia?
yeah.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah, it turned out I think Emily is growing up to be a pretty important character to the plot, which I have to admit
Yeah.
wasn't there from the beginning. But she is kind of like, she's also a very eccentric character. Because she essentially symbolizes like how Leia gets around with other players. He's like the core social contact or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got your
Deaf
changes.
Origin.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm gonna playtest. But I'm gonna do
I also switched the lore menu entry stuff. So story and memory are next to each other, and after that are the entries with the
so
completion percent.
I should go to edge test or how? So do I have to manually add the item still or?
Yeah, that's I just have my option for that to add all items and
Oh, okay. No, it's okay.
through the
It's no
debug
problem.
menu.
I use the cheat menu, so that's easy enough.
Yeah, I can give you. Give me a second. I give you the item ID.
I just need the name actually. The cheat menu works in a
Book
way
of
that you
Insight.
Book of Insight. Yeah, okay.
Book of Insight.
Was it not disc?
No, the disc. The Book of Lore.
That's something else. It's not the Book of Lore.
The Disc of Insight. The Disc of Insight. Sorry.
Yeah.
The Disc of Insight is for the enemy menu, the records, and so.
Yeah,
Right
I already
inside.
noticed.
And lore is lore.
Okay, so I'm just gonna start the Node WebKit version. Everything else is running too slow. Window is not minimized. Don't talk bullshit.
Yeah, the Disc of Insight. Granted to special warriors by the old ones.
Yeah. Cannot call register of undefined in lore menu. Cannot call decrypt slot data of undefined in save presets. And cannot call method extent of undefined in information
Reload.
JS.
This sounds like something that happens when you
Yeah.
there's an import missing that's
Yes.
loaded sometimes not there. Can you
Yeah.
give me the
No, it's okay. I think it's
don't
just
it
the information widget, which is old enough, made some problems. So it's just because it's the first time I load the game. It's fixed now, I
yeah.
think. Okay, so new game. Go inside the cheat menu. Cheats, add item. So it was what? Disk of Insight.
Disk of Insight is for the lore menu.
Doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
Disk of Insight.
No.
Disk of Insight is
I
the
was.
enemy menu.
I got it. Okay. Synopsis, and here we got the monster Fibula. What does Fibula mean? And then there's the young rabbit right beneath the mouth curler. Very nice. So yeah, it looks really good. So now I want to see that. Ah. So if I keep watching it. I want to see the rolling of the hedgehog, but nothing happens.
Patience will be rewarded.
Yes! I saw it. Yay. Very cool. So essentially, I think you now can specify the animation inside the enemy menu that's displayed, right?
Yeah, there's a normal animation you specify, and then there's an extra animation
Hmm. Pretty cool.
that is played for 2 seconds right now. Maybe we need to make that customizable. The time. But it's just an idea. I thought like, hey, why not add this?
Yeah, that's cool. So so you see we even got the boss enemies like the big hostile crab, but now it just pops up. There's no transition. Did you remove the transition, or it's just that it's not displayed for some reason?
The pop-up only happens when the enemy is already loaded. Because I wanted to keep it in line with the rest of the menus. You know,
Okay.
when you because in the quest menu it also pops up all the information. I can still make the scale thing and so on, and or fade them in. But I think when you fade
I'm
it,
talking about the
it
enemy display,
looks...
right?
Yeah, you mean the enemy display itself?
Okay. So it didn't look good, you thought, okay.
Yeah, I can re-edit it and you can take a look at it, but I personally found it better if it just displayed the enemy right away.
Yeah, it's fine.
If it can. If not, it will
no, it's just
fade in.
even when it's loaded, it seems to just pop in after it loaded. I mean, at least for the big hostile
No,
crab.
it fades in.
Really?
Oh, I don't know. I made it
Maybe
fade
that's
in.
just it. Maybe it's just that it for some reason it just lags right at this point, and that's why it doesn't fade in. No, I have to restart the game
Maybe,
to make this
but
work.
yeah, or change the map.
Yeah.
because the references should be degreased correctly.
I know. Actually, that's something we still need to add. Like when you exit the enemy menu, it should just clear the memory.
It already yeah, that's something we can do. That's true.
It's actually pretty easy to do. We just need to call a function. So okay, let me try it again. So it's still loaded. God damn it! Yeah, it doesn't immediately clear the memory.
Almanac is for items, yeah. So I'm not sure exactly how we will do it. I kind of thought of something like again something Xenoblade kind of thing where you have a trade item and you can see where you get it, in which area at least. And traders, because traders are something people wanted to have.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. It looks pretty cool already, I think. So now,
So next step is are the elements.
yes.
Already started on those. Also, I made it so that the numbers are animated. I think it looks better.
Yeah, looks cool. As long as the transition is fast enough, it's good.
It's 0.15 seconds.
Yeah, that's fast enough.
0.15 seconds.
Mm,
Yeah.
really cool.
Also, as you can see, I made a graph for bosses, at least for the tab.
What did you do?
There's a boss tab, and I made
Yeah, the icon looks good. It's something with horns, I guess,
but the
right?
enemies will still have the correct
Mhm.
category
Okay, that's
and
good.
stuff.
So we still got the mechanical and humanoid icon swapped, I see.
Yeah, because I don't. No one looks at the humanoid thing and thinks about an eye. It looks like a laughing monk or something.
Oh god damn it. Probably gonna change those icons then.
Yeah, I think we need to adjust them so it makes sense. It's no problem to change, but I think we
Yeah.
need to adapt.
I can just adapt to change, replace the graphics and it's done.
Why does the boss tab icon look like Toriel from Undertale? Because I played Undertale and right after that I pixeled the.
Seriously? Oh gosh. Oh, there's the
I
fleaser.
probably had some inspiration in my head, so.
Isn't the fleaser an animal?
I think my idea was that they are horns or
Yeah.
something. It's the important part is that you only see bosses. So every golden icon is a boss.
So the question is here, so does the mean blue cargo crab will be part of the final game? I think we will probably look for a way to still integrate it in the final game. Will kind of be a way to just drop the additional enemy, but maybe not in the way you know it, probably in a more interesting way, I think.
Yeah.
So we probably will add the blue cargo crab in a more interesting way. Kind of like, right now it's just a stronger version of the cargo crab. We could just easily go ahead and make a more interesting, more challenging version of the cargo crab, which is doing more difficult attacks and not just higher stats. Kind of like the Christmas snowman. He's not just higher stats, he also has a new pattern and a new strategy and all that.
Actually, the Meister Carotto
Mhm.
has the same stats, just more HP.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's actually my philosophy how bosses should work. They should have roughly the same stats as other enemies in that level, just more HP and more difficult attacks. That's how I think they should work. Because the problem is if you scale attack too freely, it's kind of like breaks the whole balance of the damage algorithm. In the end, if the attack value of a boss is just too high, then defense will not make a big difference. That's a problem.
Yeah.
It's because
it works. It works, so I agree.
yeah.
the one with the question mark are
Yeah.
not elemental enemies, but abstract enemies. So everything
Yeah.
that is not an animal or not an
But
mechanoid is
I would
abstract.
put Fleaser to animals, quite frankly.
Yeah,
Maybe we
we
can.
can do that. Abstract is just a default.
Yeah. Ah, I see. Yeah. But maybe insects would make sense. Actually, if there's another category, maybe we can add insects as a separate category.
But insects are something more like a species thing, kind of going. I'm thinking about right now.
Is an
What
insect an animal? I was kind of thinking about it. I think a lot of people, when they think
just,
about animals, they don't think about insects.
but how do other games do that actually? What do they do
I don't
to
know.
I know Tales of they did it in a very weird way, so I don't want to do that.
Mm.
They called their categories Terroroid and Insectoid,
Yeah, that was kind of
and
awkward. Yeah.
they had a lot of small categories, like 8
Mm.
or something. We can have 8. There's exactly one more category
That's
that can
fits in
fit in.
there. Yes, more nothing, not more. To me, it's just important that they don't overlap, so you don't have a situation where you can't decide if one thing should be among one or the other, except if it's a clear mixture between the two. Like
Yeah.
for the cargo crab, you can argue is this now an animal or a mechanical thing? It's not perfectly clear. No, he decided it's like it's more mechanical than an animal. We decide for some reason.
Yeah. Will there be more references to movies, games, animes? For sure.
We will just stop. There will be no more references ever again. It's like
Why not call it organic? That's actually a nice idea.
oh
Animals
yeah.
are called. We rename animals to organic and the other thing to inorganic.
No, mechanical and organic is good. That's
Okay, mechanical and organic, and then organic we can put Fleaser in, no problem.
because if you have organic and inorganic, you have only those two options. You don't need anything else. And
Yeah.
humanoid. Okay, the thing about humanoids are also organic, but then we decide, yeah, it's more special and whatever. That's yeah, okay. That's a downside again. You see, because organic is very general. Humanoids are also organic, so you have, strictly speaking, you could also put humanoids on
Yeah,
that category.
humanoid will be renamed to avatars, and we're done.
Oh,
So avatars are really, I mean, humanoid are only avatars, right?
yeah, that's true.
So
Mostly, yeah. There might be some cases where you got an enemy which looks really humanoid. For instance, I was actually thinking of putting the shredders among humanoid because they look kind of human. Not like to me, they don't really look like a robot. The shredder enemies, they kind of look like there's something organic about them, and they kind of look humanoid because they have this torso and arm thing. So I was thinking of putting them to humanoid, but yeah, there's many ways how you can do it.
avatars are not monsters, though, but they are something you can fight, and so it's gonna list.
But yeah,
Maybe
maybe monster
we name
people
the
are.
monster fibula to something else. It's just a temp name, really.
Yeah.
Until I come up with something
Oh
else.
gosh, xenomorphs.
Yeah, next category, xenomorphs.
Xenoforms. What is
Xenomorphs.
what is this xenoforms of cross xenoblade all the time? This
Xenoforms are
aliens,
every
essentially.
race other than human.
Okay, so they just decide to call this xenoforms.
But every alien race, of course, has their own name, but they call every alien xenoform. Because I think they didn't want to call them alien because alien also means outsider. And Xenoblade Chronicles is very much about not outsider, but more like community and stuff. So I think they try to be a little more elaborate about it.
Yeah, that's
and just say because you can easily see it because there are quests where people use the word alien and you can clearly see that they use it with a negative connotation.
That's true.
I really like the quests in Xenoblade X.
Oh, we're missing the
They
little
get better all
turrets. Yeah.
and it gets so interesting over time. Even that some quests are connected to each other. You solve one quest and suddenly someone else has a follow-up.
But you had that in Xenoblade too. You had the freaking truck ring quest in Xenoblade.
Yeah.
There was like a huge quest series, and also there was like a quest giver I noticed, which is also evil. He had those in Xenoblade too. Maybe not as often as in Xenoblade X, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
think
but
a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X missions are kind of dark.
yeah.
People
I mean,
die.
so far I only had one. Yeah, okay, there was one like people in exclamation marks die. Um, I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
So
see?
yeah, okay. I mean,
People die. They die.
is there anything else we can show? Records, quest menu. Oh man, I kind of feel like ending the stream sometime soon because
Yeah, that's it. And you can see the main menu, which now has the options thingy removed.
the main menu. Oh yeah. Oh, so much space. So now people have to click.
Interesting that still everything loads so fast.
Yeah, I'm also still always amazed how quick the game loads despite the huge code base. HTML5 is pretty amazing in that respect. I don't know what black magic they're doing there. There must be some serious caching going on for all the JavaScript files. Means like
You're missing the little turrets. What little turrets?
the little turrets from the Rhombus dungeon. I also didn't see them.
Ah, are there enemies? How are they called? Maybe I thought about the mirror bot and didn't implement
No,
them
yeah,
because of
they
that.
look like the Mirrorbot, but they are different. They are called. Let me just check it. I mean, do you remember the turrets from the Rhombus dungeon, right? The small ones.
Yeah, they're not called reflector bot, target bot. Are they called turret bot?
Iblis says, I guess one of these question mark options is going to be the PMS private message system. And not quite, but the private messages will be connected to the party members. So what I was thinking about is you will meet several people inside Crosswords. In fact, I was thinking there are a lot of people you meet and you will register them, and not all of them can join your party. So you will have much more people in your list than you can actually join your party, and that should just should be marked in a different way. That was what I was thinking about. And you can select the party members, and then you just write them a PMS, which is kind of redundant because Lea is just gonna say hi to them, but you can still do that for whatever reason. And but otherwise, the private messages are usually just happening due to the plot. So you just enter an area and automatically get this, and you just receive it, and then you gonna talk to the people. So that's how it's gonna work. It's not something that that you control yourself, but it's more like something that happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for an enemy, or did you find it already?
What? I think it's turret bot.
Let me check. No, it's turret rhombus. That's one.
Turret rhombus. All right.
Turret bot is the mirror
Turret.
bot.
Alrighty, then let's enter the stream.
Right. So, are there any final questions? Like Iblis here is asking. So it's in Pokemon Emerald where you register the people you meet and can message them anytime. Yeah, I think it's kind of like this. I have to admit, I never played the Pokemon game since a long time. But when I told people about this feature, like Hannah said something like Emily's gonna tell Leah about her top of the class Rattata all the time. And I guess that's pretty much like in Pokemon. And yeah, I think you can compare it to this. And you can use this feature to essentially also create your party. So I was thinking you can select the party member, then you can just select talk or request party or something else, and then Leah's just gonna call and something's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's also why Leah needs to learn the word party, I think, if I think about it. Otherwise, how she's gonna communicate it? But would make sense. Like at one point, Sergey teaches Leah the word party, and at this point, you can actually invite people in your party. Before that, you couldn't do that. Or just not you.
Yeah, I. Maybe.
Have
I said
any
I'm,
of you heard?
I'm a little bit in code right now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I kind of don't pay much attention.
Oh God! Leah saying party high. Oh God. Leah uses high Morse code. Exactly. That's always an option.
Yeah.
How
Your
about the
save
save
file
file?
has the number you first saved on. So when you create a new save, it will update its version number.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will have the version you saved it with.
Yeah. It will
This is
never.
because, yeah,
Yeah, it's because otherwise we need to know from which version your save originates. So it will never really update the version. You have to start a new game for this to
right.
happen. Yeah.
All right, come on, let's call
Let's
it
end the
off.
stream. Okay, so
Yeah, because we're starting to stall.
yeah, thanks everybody for watching. That was really cool, and we did some expressions, and we talked about a lot of gameplay stuff and other things. So yeah, it was a cool stream, and I hope to see you again, hopefully next Sunday. And yeah, have a nice evening and a good start into the next week. Goodbye.
Can you
Wait,
can you
now we got
host
questions again. God damn it.
can you host AGDQ when you're done?
Sure. I will try to do that, but I have to figure out how to do this.
All right. I will go, right?
All right. Good. Bye
So
bye.
see you everyone. Thanks for stream.